Hi, I'm Dexter Kilgore with Legacy Listening, LLC, and I just exposed my business on BizLink TV network. Learn more about how the skill of listening helps our young boys and men who have been incarcerated successfully navigate re-entry, reintegration, and reunification into life and family after incarceration. Coming up on my episode of That's My Biz on bizlinks.tv. Well, legacy listening actually started through a mentor of mine. He kind of heard a few things about what I did inside of prisons, inside of schools, and he said, "What is your main premise?" And I said, I like to listen to people, ask questions, and get and withdraw information from them that way." And he said, "Have you ever thought about leaving a legacy in listening?" And I'm like, "Daz, I never thought about it like that." And he said, "Why don't you make that your name?"
Wow.
And so we start talking about it and toiling through it. And so then I started really being more intentional about going into prisons and going into schools because I wanted that to really be my brand.
Okay.
Listening to people.
Okay.
And I discovered even in studying that, in the word listen, if you rearrange the letters, you can pull the word silent out.
Okay.
And I discovered I'm not really listening if we're not silent.
Okay. Wow. Now, y'all know I want to get down to the words and pull the silent out of this. And that's amazing because so often you hear about speakers, right? But you really don't hear about just that skill and that art of listening.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit because you talk about the listening, the key. Who is it that you're listening to?
You're listening to me personally. I listen to the young boys.
Okay.
One of the things that I'll ask, even when I'm talking to them, when they're in trouble, I'll say, "Corey, how's the situation with mom?" And they'll instantly say, "Oh man, mom and I we're doing good." And then I'll say, "Okay, well, where is dad in this equation?" And I'll see a head drop.
Okay.
Then I know I'm on to something.
Okay.
And then I ask more questions, and then I'll listen to them. Okay, so what happened?
Okay.
So what do you think the solution is for you?
Okay.
And what can you commit to? Well, I think he needs to talk to me. I said, well, will you be committed to write him a letter or text him or call him by phone? I think I can do that, but I don't want to initiate it. I said, well, will you be okay if I do it?
Okay.
And so I kind of walk with them versus doing something for them or doing something to them. I actually do it with them, which is a training that I took called restorative practice.
Okay.
And that shows us how to do things with people versus always doing things for them.
Wow. I mean, and that's awesome. So, because so quickly people just are impatient and they just want to do it for them. And as opposed, it's kind of the whole teach a man to fish, right?
Yes.
Part of it. But, and then what I'm also hearing when you're talking about the listening, that in that scenario you just shared, it wasn't even just listening to what he was saying, but you were listening to his body language and everything else as well to hear those keys.
As you stated, it is such an art.
Yeah.
It's not just hearing with your ears. It's also being able to do that with your eyes.
Okay.
Because there are times even when they'll say something, but their body language is showing something totally different.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Excuse me, hold on just a moment. Why is it that your head dropped? Or why did your shoulder slump? Or why did this particular thing go on here? Let's talk more about that." And so it's looking at through the eyes, the ears, and using every facet, going down every path that we can to verify are we maximizing those moments to listen to what's really going on with that individual.
Okay, that's so interesting.
Yeah.